running to the comments to see what is the secret. I was afraid of the gym because I don't want to get hurt. I did exactly the same thing that you told me to do. How come it didn't work? Going to the gym will never be a problem. Walking is so underrated. And the scale is not the full story. Don't complicate it. Don't start worrying about creatine. Don't start worrying about protein powder. Time will pass whether you start, whether you don't start. Time will still pass. Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Castellin. If you're new and if you're not, welcome back to another video, a chit chat video. It's been a while since we've talked. And in this video, I just want to talk about the things that I've learned over the past year or so that I have been doing strength training. So I started strength training at the tail end of 2024. More seriously, I started in 2025. So it's been a little bit over a year. And just to put in the quick disclaimers, I'm not an expert on this topic. I'm just talking about my experience, the things I've learned, and the important things that I feel someone else would like to know about strength training and the whole process of just trying to focus on health and fitness, especially for people who are in their 30s or in my case, in your late 30s. One thing about me is I have been in a bigger body for majority of my life. Whenever I would come across someone posting a transformation video, like someone posting what they look like before and then after they're all ripped and jacked, I used to be like running to the comments to see what is the secret. What did you do? There's always that question that comes up in the comments whenever you see such posts. There's so many things that people write in there and you're like, I can try this for a while and see if it works and whatnot. And I came to realize that the answer for that question is not something that I was going to find in the comments of those videos. It's probably something that you're going to find in this video though. One thing I will not stand for is the slander that is going on about how everybody now is suddenly a gym girly and going to the gym is the new fad. And so what? So what? Let it be, because it's actually a positive thing that more and more women want to get into strength training, want to work on their bodies, want to feel good in the body that existed. If everybody was rushing towards something negative like drinking or doing drugs or whatever, then it would be a problem. But going to the gym will never be a problem. The way people keep talking about how everybody now has made going to the gym their whole thing, so what? Let it be, because it's actually something positive. Strength training is absolutely essential to everybody, especially the older that you get. It helps to control the rate at which you're losing muscle, helps to boost your metabolism, strengthen your bones, gives you more energy. And on top of that, which is the most important effect that I've noticed, it helps to boost your mental health and your confidence so much. So the benefits are endless. The older you get in life in general, there's always this tendency to feel like it's too late. I should have started sooner. Now, like, time has gone. When it comes to strength training, that is completely irrelevant. And I came to find that out for myself, because I have seen people who have started strength training in their 50s, in their 60s. I even saw like a certain lady on TikTok who was posting about how her 70 or 80-year-old mother was having mobility issues, couldn't even go up the stairs, and they started strength training with the littlest weights, and within no time she had started developing muscle to the point where she can walk upstairs, she can easily get out of the bed or the chair without any assistance. It's something that you need at any age in life. It doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. At any point, once you have decided that you're going to do strength training, just go for it. The benefits and the effects will still be there. When I started and I was going online and looking at people who are giving tips on workouts and stuff like that, I used to look at their bodies and I'm like, oh my God, that will take forever. Like, when will I even? I should have started last year. I should have started 5 years ago. Like, that looks like it will take forever. And the thing is, time will pass either way. So why don't you just start? Even if you start today, no matter how, if you feel it's too late or not, time will still pass either way. So just start. When you decide to start, just start and go for it. It doesn't matter how old you are. As long as you can integrate it into your lifestyle, the benefits will outweigh everything that you're worried about. And speaking about starting, one thing that really worked out in my favor when it comes to strength training is starting easy. The gym used to be a very intimidating place for me. I remember even when my sister used to ask me, why don't you go to the gym? Like, you have a gym downstairs in your apartment. I don't even know how to use those machines. Like, I've seen people get injuries in the gym and stuff like that. I don't want to get hurt. I didn't know so much. I remember specifically I told her I was afraid of the gym because I don't want to get hurt. And when we started working out, she used to tell me, use the smallest, safest weight possible. You don't have to go to the gym and start doing strongman moves. You don't have to go to the gym and start being a power lifter. It's something that you're supposed to enjoy because it's something that's supposed to be part of your life. So it's something that you teach yourself gradually how to enjoy. I watch back my old workout videos and sometimes I'm even like, I actually posted that stuff on the internet. But I used to use like the 2-kilogram dumbbells for the kettlebell swings. I used to swing a little 6 kg kettlebell. I used to take the lightest weights and just try and understand the movement and everything. And I did that for a period of like maybe 3 or 4 months before I realized, oh my God, this weight is too light. I need to carry something heavier. But if you go to the gym and just start with heavy weights and then your body is aching and then things have just become a chore, it's very easy to get discouraged and fall off the process, if you get what I mean. Like, ease yourself into it. There's no jumping in with 2 feet. And I'm so glad that I recorded those videos because I can see how I progress through time. And if you're going to get a personal trainer, also you need to vet the personal trainers that you get. I see sometimes like someone will come to the gym new and find a trainer to work with, and then on the first day the trainer is giving them heavy weights. The trainer is even not talking to them nicely. The trainer will kind of be mean to you to sort of motivate you to, I don't know how that works because I'm assuming it's a service industry, like someone is paying you for a service, so why are you talking trash to me? But that's a whole different kind of worms. But I'm saying also be careful about the trainers that you choose. Find someone who understands the process of introducing someone to the gym. You start easy and then you gradually work your way up. The more I kept on going, the more I was curious to know like the other machines in the gym. I would be like, I wonder what that does. I used to even take pictures of the machines on my phone and then put that on the Google image search, and then it will give me what this machine does and the different workouts that you can do with it and the potential results that you can get, to the point now where I've reached. Of course, I don't know how to use everything else in the gym, but now I've learned a lot more. I'm able to carry more weight. If I had just gone in heavy, maybe I would have gotten so tired in the beginning and be like, this is not for me, this is too difficult. Because the gym is supposed to be a safe space, your happy place, even though sometimes when you're pushing 90 kgs on the leg press, your face might not show it. It's supposed to be your peace of mind place, your happy place. So don't go burdening yourself with heavy weights on the first day. Take that 2 kg dumbbell, take that 5 kg kettlebell. Use the lightest weight possible. Feel comfortable with the movement, and with time, you yourself will be like, no, I need to add the weight because what am I doing? This is just, light work. Things are really not as complicated as you think. Again, I used to think that if you go to the gym, you need a personal trainer, you need gym equipment. I had a whole list of reasons why I could not go to the gym because I did not have this and I did not have that and I did not have this. And yet, when I started the gym, I didn't even have gloves. When I started, I didn't have any of those things that I thought I needed in order to be able to work out in the gym. So I Googled workouts, I watched videos on how to do certain movements, and eventually I learned. And in the beginning, I was doing it wrong, but the good thing is that even though I was doing it wrong, it was with light enough weights that I could be able to correct my form without causing too much damage in terms of the muscle development. I don't know, but eventually I was able to fix my form on a lot of things. There are other things which I'm still working on now. It seems complicated and intimidating, especially for someone who has lived their whole entire life without being in the gym, but things are not as complicated as they seem. On that topic of using the internet as a resource, another thing that I learned the hard way, this one was a bit of a hard lesson for me, is that I was not paying attention to the ages of the people who I was taking advice from. There's this particular YouTuber, Body Matcha. She's brilliant. She always explains the workouts very well. She is amazing. She had gone on holiday, gained weight, and then came back on YouTube with a 4-week challenge of recomping the body. And I was just seeing Like, she was posting the meals she was eating, she was posting the workouts she was doing, and I was following everything step by step. And then after the 4 weeks, she was ripped. The abs were back in. Like, she was looking amazing. Meanwhile, I had I would say, minimal difference in my appearance, minimal difference on the scale. And I was like, I did exactly the same thing that you told me to do. How come it didn't work? Only to come and find out later that this girl is 24 years old. I didn't know she was just a baby. And I was like trying to do everything exactly the way she was doing it, but I was not getting the same results as her. Okay, there are other things that matter as well. Your metabolism rate, how long you've been working out, muscle memory and all that. But age plays an important role whenever you're looking at, especially for women, whenever you're looking at implementing what someone else is doing or showing you online about their fitness journey or their health journey, because you might get disappointed that you're not getting the same results as this person, but they're much younger and their body system operates at a whole different level than yours. So it might take you longer to achieve certain things. So this I had to learn. Like, I used to watch influencers online and I'm just like, how did you do that in 2 weeks? Come to find out, it's an 18-year-old. Their metabolism, of course, is much better. Their energy is on a different level. It took me a while to realize, if I want to get more accurate information, if I want to have a better realistic picture of how results are supposed to come in, how I'm going to be feeling, it would be better for me to follow someone who is a little bit closer in age with me. Also, height matters. Aside from age, height matters, because someone might be like 6 feet tall, but you would never tell in the camera, and they will be telling you they're 100 kgs and looking like Miss Olympia, and you're wondering, how is that possible? Like, how are you so heavy but look so lean? But it's just because they're much taller than you are. Age and height are two important things to consider whenever you're trying to parallel maybe with someone else, the people who you're following for as an example of what you expect to achieve. I don't know, by Western standards, I am a short girl. I am 5'6", but by the standards of where I come from, I'm the tallest in my family. So as a foodie, I have come to adjust my mindset when it comes to food so much. Food is the biggest hurdle, and yet it's also the biggest contributor to how you will feel, how you will develop muscle, how your performance will be, how well you will sleep. So many things. You cannot outrun a bad diet no matter what you do. Diet contributes to 80%. Workout, exercise and all that is just 20%. I don't know when this happened. I think because I had so many dental issues that I stopped being a sweet tooth long before I even thought about losing weight. I'm not that into candy, cakes and sweets. I don't like chocolate. If you're in that category, I have some tips for you. If you want your body to transform, you have to eat. Like, there's no way you can transform without eating. Of importance is that you hit your macros. You need the proteins, you need the carbohydrates, and you need the vegetables for all your minerals, antioxidants and all that. Like, all of these things work together, but you need to have it in a balanced way. Like, don't overindulge on one side and forget about the rest. One thing a lot of people do is trying to cut out carbs, eat smaller portions of food. You know, like, now I'm trying to lose weight or I'm trying to lose fat and I'm just going to eat little bits of food, and what, like, it will not work. When I tell you, I have done so many different kinds of diets. Stick to the basics. There's nothing wrong with eating the same thing over and over again. And you have to detach food from the emotional side of things, and which is very difficult because food is attached to celebration. Food is attached to reward. Food is attached to so many emotions when it comes to human beings. Food is attached to family, community, and all that. But I intentionally think about food as fuel for my body, and that has helped me to decenter food from my life. Now, if you're a sweet tooth, one thing that you always need to make sure is to have a proper meal before you have your sweets. Snacks are not going to give you sustenance. If you're hungry and you go and eat a bag of chips, you'll still be hungry. It's like you didn't even do anything in the first place, and then you feel like eating more, and then the cycle continues. If you're a person who likes to snack or who likes to eat something sweet every once in a while, you always have to make sure that you have a proper meal before you eat. Those snackish foods or those sweets are supposed to be something that you take for the taste of it, not for nourishing your body. So if you're hungry, you should not be going for chocolate. Chocolate should be something that you eat when you're just like, I like this. This is my favorite type of chocolate. I want to enjoy it. I want to savor it. Eat a whole meal, make sure that the meal is rich in proteins, and then have your chocolate. Once you're full, you have a small portion of the chocolate. Enjoy it without feeling the need to go back into the packet, into the bag, and have more because you're still hungry. And then the funny thing is that when it comes to these so-called snacks, like even most people never pay attention to the serving sizes on the packet. If you buy a packet of cookies, you eat the whole packet. Turns out the serving size was 2 pieces. Turns out the whole time the serving size was just 2 pieces, 2 cookies, and yet you've had the whole bag. And that's because you are hungry and they're empty calories. If you have a certain favorite kind of ice cream, cookie, whatever sweet tooth that your heart's desire, make sure that you eat a high protein meal. Make sure that you get a balanced meal with a lot of protein, a lot of fiber, some good carbohydrates. Make sure you're nice and full, and then enjoy your serving of whatever sweet that you'd like. And this just helps to prevent you from binging on that item and getting an unnecessary excess calories in your system. And with food, I know it can get boring. I eat the same things over and over again. Every once in a while, I'll sprinkle something different here and there, but it's mostly the same things over and over again. And I'm used to it now. In the beginning, I was like, what do you mean? Like, this is the third day in a row I'm eating chicken breast. It's not even a factor in my mind anymore. And I feel like it also makes life easier knowing exactly what you're going to, because sitting and thinking about what to cook is also another burden by itself. So I feel like even though the diet is repetitive, it also makes things easier so you don't have to think too much about what you need to prepare. There's nothing literally wrong with eating the same thing over and over again, as long as it provides you the sustenance that you need. So you cannot cut out your carbohydrates if you're going to be strength training, because you need that glucose in your muscle to be able to push those weights. Don't be too overhung about the whole 100 grams of protein, 1.6 grams of protein per kilograms of body weight, and all this mental math and everything. Now with the whole protein thing, it's become a bit crazy. Everybody's talking about proteins all the time. Just make sure every meal that you has a source of protein. If you're not sure if it has protein or what kind of protein, read the food label. Google if this food contains protein, but make sure at least 25 grams of protein per meal. And if you're having 3 meals per day as a woman, if you're getting at least 75 grams of protein per day, you're already doing much better than if you're not trying to make sure that you have proteins in every meal. Sleep has really helped me to get better results in the gym. I'm generally a light sleeper. I had to sort of sleep train myself the way you would train a baby. I would stay awake until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m., whatever, and then sleep and then wake up at 5. And then my sleep schedule used to be terrible, but I trained myself to sleep and try to make sure that I get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. Sleep is just as important as the exercise. Sleep is when your body works on recovery so that you can be able to, have the energy to do the workout the next day. Sleep is when your body now goes into maintenance mode and fixing everything and patching everything together. Sleep is so important on so many levels. There's no way you can talk about strength training and transforming your body if you're not getting enough rest. I think the time when I started consistently walking my 10,000 steps per day is the time when I started seeing the visible effects of all the work that I have been doing in the past 1 year, because my consistent walking started on the tail end of last year when I started making sure like at least 6 days a week I'm hitting 10,000 or more steps. Actually, some days even going to 15,000, 16,000 steps per day. When I started walking, I started seeing my abs starting to show. I started seeing more definition in my muscles, especially getting to that weight control heart rate zone between 110 to 130. I used to think when it comes to cardio, you need to just be sweating and out of breath and ready to die the next minute. Your heart needs to be next to exploding. That is actually not the case. Of course, now it's widely known that walking is really good for weight control, but make sure when you're walking, your heart rate reaches that weight control target zone. So it depends, because people will say, oh, you need to walk at like 5 kilometers per hour or something. It depends on the person. If you're heavier, even just walking at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour might raise your heart rate as compared to someone who's more fit and they need to walk a bit more faster. So monitor your heart rate. Get that brisk walking. Not everybody has to walk at the same speed. As long as your heart rate goes up, it helps with the burning of the fat. Now I walk every day in the morning for just an hour. You can even split it up into 2 walks depending on your lifestyle. You can walk like for 30 minutes and then 30 minutes, because also keeping that high heart rate elevated to that level consistently helps with burning more calories. So personally, I do it for a whole hour continuously, but if you don't have the whole hour, you can do it for 30 minutes and 30 minutes. Getting overall 10,000 steps is all fine and dandy, but if you're breaking it up with rests in between, I feel like the effect will not be the same like if you had 30 minutes of continuous elevated heart rate. If you're trying to be more active, like say, for example, you're parking further than where you normally park your car to walk to the office, and now instead of just leaving the car into the building, there's an extra 5-minute walk. These are all good just for maintaining your body to be active, but I feel like if you want to see the effect of fat loss through walking, it should be at least a continuous elevated heart rate for 30 minutes. I am not saying this is scientific fact, but I'm saying this is what has worked for me. So yes, keep taking the stairs, keep walking, but these are short bursts of energy. You get what I mean? Like leaving your desk to go and refill your water bottle. If you're in the 2nd floor and you need to talk to someone in the 1st floor, you take the stairs down and back up. Those are all good, but it's not a continuous activity that is targeted towards getting your heart rate to that fat loss range. So I feel like walking consistently has done wonders for me. And yes, it's good to be active. Get your steps at the end of the day, but do you have a certain period where you were consistently getting that heart rate up, regardless of the number of steps you end up with at the end of the day? The most important thing that I feel like I've learned is that the mental shift required to get into strength training and actually see results is a steep learning curve. And I say that as someone who doesn't have kids. I just have a cat. But I can imagine for women in their 30s, most of them are married with children. Like, there's a lot going on in life, career, everything, there's a lot going on in life. This is a huge sacrifice, but you sacrifice for yourself. You log in for yourself, not for anybody else, but just for yourself. Because as women, a lot of things we do are in servitude to something else, whether it's your job or your kids. But I feel like when it comes to your health, strength training is something that you're doing specifically for the benefit of you, for yourself. Even though sometimes it gets difficult, schedules get busy, but just know that you're doing this for yourself. A lot of hurdles come across the way, the menstrual process, like there's so many things that are against this process, I understand, but think of it as this is the one thing, specifically the one thing that you're doing just for you, not for anybody else. Last but not least, this takes a long time and the scale is not the full story. When I started strength training, I didn't even have a goal in mind, to be honest. I was just like, okay, something that people do. I will get some muscles, maybe I will live longer. And then the more I did it, the more I started developing like more specific goals. Like now I started to think, what if I have like abs? What if I have like shredded arms? All those things. It took time, but when it happened, I was just like, wait a minute, look at that. Is that an ab that I see coming through? Like, it took time, but it eventually happened. And I say the scale is not the full story because I am definitely heavier now than the weight I was before I started strength training. Back then, when I had lost weight from doing keto and just lost everything in my body, I was much lighter. But right now, much more heavier, but I look way different. I have more muscle, less fat. So basically, just stepping on the scale is not the end of it. Like, you will see, you'll look at yourself in the mirror one day and see, I look different. It just happens. I think for me, it happened more in the beginning of this year. When I did the 4 weeks of fat loss in January, that's when I started seeing my muscles look so much more defined. That's when I started saying, I have actually transformed my body. The progression to where I am now, I didn't even notice it happening. I just, when I took the photos and lined them up aside, I was like, I have really transformed. It took time, but I have really transformed. And like I said in the beginning, the only thing that's constant is time. Time will pass whether you start, whether you don't start, time will still pass. So why not the time to pass with something different having happened to your body? So all in all, even though I'm still figuring out stuff, I'm still learning stuff, I still have a long way to go. I'm glad I started when I did. You couldn't have convinced me a year ago that I was going to be having popping abs. You couldn't have convinced me a year ago that I was going to be having, like, you know, defined biceps and stuff like that. Like back then, I was just like, okay, well, I'll just do it. I felt like it was too late for me, but things happen. Things happen and I feel good. And I am okay with where I started. I have accepted that I started at the time that I started, and I am enjoying the benefits now regardless. So if you're thinking of starting or you're in this process, I'm just here to encourage you to keep going, because this is for you. This is literally for no one else but you. And it can be the one thing that you have for yourself. But yeah, those are the important things that I've come to learn over the past 1 year of strength training. I'm looking forward to see how much more improvement I will be able to get in the future, because all you can do now is keep improving. Most important things to remember is keep things simple. Don't complicate it. Don't start worrying about creatine. Don't start worrying about protein powders. Don't start, because all of those things will come later. Like it will come the more you do your research, the more you learn about your body, the more you learn about the process, and you will eventually get those things. In as much as I'm trying to encourage you, I feel like no one can really convince you to do something, especially something that takes so much effort and sacrifice, unless you decide for yourself. One day you'll just wake up and say, enough is enough. It's time to do something about it. And once you do that, don't say, let me wait until Monday so I can start in the fresh week. Just once you decide to do it, go for it. And once you start, you don't stop. You will just keep on going. Just show up. That is the most important. Just show up, and the rest will literally be history. Let me leave it there for now. If you have any more information that you'd like to share, drop it down in the comments. But thank you so much for watching the video all the way until the end. Don't forget to like and share with someone who needs some encouragement, or someone who just likes to watch yapping videos. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.